Shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle Great Millstone. And citations to you all to teach all truth and sincerity. Um, it's gonna be called "Who is Your True Family?" Um, I'm gonna start in Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. It says, um, "While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him." And verse 47 says, "Then one said unto him, Behold, thy mother, thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. And but he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother, and who is my brethren? And who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren." Because the Akim who are laboring out and on the highways and byways week in week out, who are, you know, in the camps with you, um, uh, you know, y'all are, brethren in the faith, your brethren in the faith, your sister in the faith, the Akwaf in the faith. Those are your family, because the the brotherhood, the brotherhood of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the body of Yahweh Shai, the brethren who are a part of the body of Yahweh Shai. We were a spiritual family before we became a physical family. Israel was in the spirit world. We were a family before we came into the physical world, and you know um, we're called the tribes, and we're calling each other family. You know, because in verse 50 he says, "For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother, my and sister, and mother." Because um, the the brotherhood, the Akim, are your family. The ones that are part of this truth are your family. Your relatives, they're they're your relatives. They're your the family you came from, but they're just your relatives. Your blood relatives. You know, they if they're not doing the will of the Lord, they're not um you know that's not um you know like they're family, but they're not your the family that they're not the family um that that's doing the will of the Lord. They're not um um they're not your they're Slocky. I'm trying to think of a word right now. Anyway, um um they're not considered your family if they're not doing that, the work of the Lord. They're they're considered your relatives, which is family, but it's not. Um, they're not a part. If they're not a part of the body of Yahweh Shai, they they're not, considered uh, family. Um, but this is Luke 14 verse 26. It says, "If any man come to me and hate not his father or mother or wife or children and brother or sister, oh no, and brother and sisters, and yeah, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple." And hate doesn't mean you gotta what's the word, come against um you know, if your mother and them are dealing with you accordingly, you gotta hate what they're um you gotta hate um uh, if they're not doing, if they're not a part of um the truth, um because we're sacrificing our lives, um for this truth, um and we have to hate um the wicked ways of our people, our relatives, them celebrating Thanksgiving, Christmas, them being a part of the Baptist Christian church, um, dealing with idols, hating those things about our relatives, um, you know, them participating in this wicked kingdom, hating them for that, um, um, you know, um, you know, you know, we're sacrificing our lives and freedom to do so here, and that's an important thing to do, because if we don't sacrifice our lives, um, we cannot be, Yahushua's disciple. Um, I'm gonna go back to Matthew, just chapter 10, verse 36. Um, it says, "And a man foe shall be they of his own household. And he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." And we're not supposed to let anything have power over us. Don't let uh, anything have power over you, especially your parents, your children, your wife, your other relatives. You're supposed to sacrifice our lives and time for the Lord, over our our relatives. We're supposed to put Yahweh Shah first before those wicked people who are our relatives, who are not trying to strive for the truth unto death. They rather be content in this wicked world, being captives under our oppressors. They're not about trying to rise, arise out of this wicked place, to arise to uh, a higher, a higher elevate, a higher standard than this filthy place, you know, which is, you know, gonna get destroyed by nuclear missile fire. If, you know, because that's why the scripture say, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, for it shall destroy you. It shall pollute you and destroy you." I'll get it. Hold on, let me read it. Let me get that. This is Micah 2 verse 10. It's Micah 2 verse 10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction." So we're supposed to mentally, spiritually um, arise out of the mind state of this world, because the mind state of this world, the ways of this world will destroy you. Um, these people, especially our relatives, they're content in the ways of this world, and that's going to destroy them. And we have to hate the wicked ways of this world in order to be, delivered from this wicked place and receive, salvation and deliverance, Lord willing, on the first go around. Um, if we continue to endure to the end. Um, we'll go to Ephesians 6, verse 1. Um, it says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And we have spiritual fathers in this truth. We have to obey them just like we um, have physical parents, and we have to adhere to their um, we have to their um, obey them too, and honor them by helping our parents even in their elderly age, you know as they're because they're getting older, uh, as we're getting older, and it's important to be a help unto your parents when they're older. And same with the elders of our camps. We're supposed to also help and lend a hand to the elders of the camp, um, as much as we have the ability to do so, to the best of our ability. Because um, we all are dealing with things in this captivity, dealing with our own stuff. So, to the best of our ability, we're supposed to obey and abide to the orders and the guidance and wisdom of 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 our spiritual fathers and in our regular parents, in our parents, to the best of our ability. Um, but I'm gonna get in the NLT right quick, and then that'll be it. Ephesians 6 verse 1. It's Ephesians 6 verse 1 in the NLT. It says, "Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do." Yeah, because the right thing to do to obey our spiritual fathers and our parents, to the best of our ability, because we are, because most of us in this truth are grown, and most of our parents, and we don't all live with our parents. We don't all have our parents here, but if we do have our parents here, and if we do have elders over us, we're supposed to obey them, and also our parents also in the Lord, to the best of our ability, because um, the brotherhood are our family, and you know as them as the brotherhood is our family, the elders of our family who are over the Akim, we're supposed to show reverence towards them, because they've been given that position for a reason too. Um, so anyway, I'm gonna say all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone, citations to you. I can teach all truths there, inshallah.